We're going to continue our look at Slam Bang, Alan Freeman's legendary anthology series from the 80s. Folks, it doesn't get a whole lot better than this. Let's look. Alongside FANzine Live, I also run a small press publishing house. It's called Phoenix Productions, where I create and publish my own comics and zines. It's a passion project. It lets me tell stories and experiment and support the kind of creative work that I truly love. And I would be thrilled to share it with you. If that sounds like something you might enjoy, check out the preview coming up next and give it a try if you're interested. And as always, enjoy the video. And hello everyone, you can see what today's Classic Zines video is here at FANzine Live. It is Slam Bang issue 3, 1986, and immediately you get blasted with one of the classic artists of the 80s in the small press scene, Jeff Gaither, and he hits hard on the plop humor horror look that the likes of DC and some of the others, the cracks in the Mad magazines and the like, kind of played with. But Gaither did his own thing. This is a wonderful example of it. You got the eyeballs sticking out. You've got the teeth looking all weird. You've got the stretched out skin and neck. You've got the torn clothes. Obviously Larry Moe and Curly going on here. But it's an alien. It's a three-headed alien for issue 3, and he's out on some weird planet. Beautiful work. Does have some zipatone here, but and a little bit here. So the mountains are all zipatoned. Everything else looks to be hand done. So all of this stuff up in the sky, the design on that planet or moon or sun, even this foreground stuff is all hand done, as well as the work over here. So you've got some stippling. Gaither was a fantastic artist, could still be a fantastic artist. I have not kept up with him at all. I hope he is doing well. Slam Bang number 3, in which Alan Freeman, the publisher, has decided he's going to get serious about this. You asked for a letters page, you've got it. You asked for 2 pages of bios, you got it. You asked for art to accompany the text stories, you got it. You asked for color on the covers, you got it. Now, this is a second printing, so maybe the first printing had some color on the covers. Alan was really good about using airbrushing on his covers to do some custom work. And as we get through Slam Bang and get deeper into the series, you'll see I've got a few of those. And he just does a splash of an airbrush here or there, and it looks perfect. And then lastly, you asked for the moon. He's working on it. Real simple design and layout. Again, remember, we're in the 80s, March 86, but he apparently just under a year later did a second printing because it's in February 87. People use their typewriters for this stuff. They didn't have desktop publishing like we're used to having. They certainly didn't have anything close to a Photoshop or an InDesign. These are all physical, literal paste ups. Get out your Scotch tape and start taping these pieces in and cut and paste, and I mean, it's all manual, and he did a great job with it. He did this piece, Freeman did. I am guessing he did that piece, but I can't tell for certain. This one I can't tell. It says You Are There Now, art by Todd Rush. Very nice work on all of it. City Streets, it's by Eric Weems. Interesting piece. America 1995. Again, remember, that's, almost 10 years after this was printed. Cities have become independent, modern, feudal states. Oppression is everywhere, and so are the rebels. Real simple work from a cartooning point of view, but some nice mixes of stuff. Some silhouettes, some dark backgrounds, overhead shots, rear shots, side views. Sometimes they have panel borders, most of the time not. It has a nice flow to it. Essentially, you've got these 2 characters who appear to have stolen a car. It obviously runs on gasoline. Someone must have stolen it from a museum. So they went and took it away. The modern camera oversight didn't catch them, so they're off and running. Get themselves into a fight when they go to the grocery store. The cops find them, and they realize that they probably didn't do what they should have done, and the cops now and the overseers of the community have decided to catch them, and we're off and running. Looks like it could be going on further. I haven't read issue 4 of Slam Bang. It's very possible that this continues, but it doesn't seem so. Then we've got ourselves some pinups. Gene Grinowitz did this one. Really impressed with Alan's ability on the photocopier, because it wasn't easy back in the 80s to get a good enough photocopier. And that's a reasonably good black. And that's even a reasonably good black. Mark Lamport did this one. This is an Alan Freeman piece. Love the sci-fi look there. This is a neat one by Brad Foster. Looks like he was playing around with some of those rub-on letters before, the typesetting letters that we had before we had digital typesetting. They were very similar in style to temporary tattoos, except these things would be affixed to like a big plastic sheet. And if you wanted to use a letter, you would have to rub it onto the paper. So he put all of his W's and M's and D's and B's and O's and Q's, parentheses. He put it all in there to make this. I like that. Foster is incredibly creative. Then you've got yourself a piece about the Somnambulist by R.E. Smith. Anne Freeman did a couple illustrations on that. Fun little short story. Back to Jeff Gaither. This one being inked by a gentleman named Michael Roden. And together they really did some nice stuff. Gosh, look at that pointillism. That stippling is off the charts. This is a piece by Daryl Hutchinson. As awesome as it looks, it doesn't do the artwork justice. And I think that he uses this in a future issue. So when that comes up, we will be able to enjoy it a little better. But even there, I mean, you can tell Daryl is a talent. Another short, this one by Richard Allen Lessman, lettering by SED. Great lettering. Susan Dornhead. Excellent lettering. Fred and Marvin, a Tim Corrigan piece. Tim did a lot of these when he would be asked to contribute to a book. He didn't really know what to do, so he would just do a strip about not knowing what to do it about. And then in this, I guess he gave some dirty socks. Corrigan's style was so simple and so clean and smart. I mean, to use the pointillism to do the coloring in the walls. Adds just a little texture, but not too much. All right. This one looks like another Todd Rush piece. Yep. And then Jeffrey Wood, who from Pseudo Comics has the Snow Bunny character. And it looks like he's got Snow Bunny taking on the aliens there. Then we've got the Two Stooges. That's Eric Weems. Another nice looking little piece with a couple silly cartoon hero types with an appearance apparently from Charlie Brown. Psycho Sid by Todd Rush, inks by Alan Freeman. Do something sniff outrageous like shave your earlobes. Okay, Psycho Sid. And then, who would have figured? Steve Willis and Morty the dog show up. I tell you, I did not plan this. It's another fun story about this gentleman called the Axe Grinder, and notice his hands are axes. Morty starts telling axe jokes. The Axe Grinder doesn't like it, so he slices him to bits, kills Morty, and Morty's ghost comes back and keeps telling axe jokes. And of course gets the Axe Grinder so angry he keeps sharpening all the way that he just grinds himself all to bits and leaves just his arm hanging. Morty dies all the time in Steve Willis work, but he always comes back. We've got some pages of biography. We've got some letters of comment. T.M. Maple, the famous Canadian letter writer who really spent a lot of time writing to the Marvels and DCs and First Comics and Eclipse and Kamiko's and the like of the world. He did dive into small press though, and he's right there. Tim Corrigan, Scott McClung, who we've looked at here on FANzine Live, the late Larry Blake, a great artist, Steve Willis, of course. And then he threw in a couple with Vonnegut, Hefner, and Dr. Ruth. I would point out that you've got yourself Joe Hutchinson cartoons here, all reading Slam Bang, going ha ha ha, and that one says, "There's my issue of Slam Bang." Another great issue from Alan Freeman. Now really hitting his stride. He's kind of figured out what he wants to do with Slam Bang. And so now it just becomes this showcase of amazing art, really strong talent from a writing point of view, and some incredible cartooning. And notice, folks, that you don't have to have glossy comics. You don't have to have full-size comics or magazine-size comics. You don't have to have cardstock covers. This is just a cheap piece of pink photocopy paper with white photocopy paper on the inside, just saddle-stitched and folded and sent out. It's about the material inside that makes it wonderful. Alan delivers that pretty much every single issue, which is why Slam Bang, being as reasonably cheaply made of a product as it is from a physical point of view, lives on as a classic because of the content. He attracted great people to work with him. He gave them plenty of space to shine. Some smart stuff to think about as we put together our anthologies and as we make our zines. Let me know what you think. Leave a thought in the comments. Any particular piece really reach out at you and strike you? Any cartoonist really grab you? I'd love to hear what you think. Leave it in the comments. And as always, like the video, subscribe to FANzine Live, and tell your friends, because we look at the classic zines that so many don't look at and honestly probably don't know about. Thanks for watching, everybody. This is Tom. This is FANzine Live. I will catch you next time.